Hi, good evening and welcome to the John Gaunt Show, coming live from the heart of Oxfordshire today. And I'm sorry I'm a few minutes late starting. If you want to join in, put your comments in the comment box. Simple. This is STARMER and LABOUR, including Rachel Reeeves, treat us with utter contempt and utter disdain. It's time for a general strike. Do you agree with me? The only way we're going to stop these idiots is by saying, that's it, tools down, now what are you going to do about it, Starmer? This can't continue. Absolute disdain for the British public. Look at today. We've waited weeks to find out what they were going to do about the pubs. Today, Rachel Reeeves, there was some bullshit story that she was going to go to China, but she hasn't. She's not on the plane with Starmer. Starmer's gone to China because he's going to give them the biggest Chinese takeaway ever. They're going to take away our security. They're going to take away our heritage, our culture. They're going to take away the lot. Our industry, well, they've already stolen all of our cars, haven't they, in essence? And he's going over there again to hobnob, or maybe it's something different than that, to basically get some money because she has effed up the economy. Are you with me or against me? That's what we're talking about today. Because the dictionary, I'm down at my daughter's, so I've been thinking about this when I was on the train today. But the dictionary definition of disdain is this. It's a feeling of contempt for someone or something regarded as unworthy or inferior. In other words, scorn. In other words, what? You're concerned about illegal immigration? Oh, you're just thick. We don't have to listen to your opinion. Oh, you're worried about your girl's daughter's mum's being raped? You're just being hysterical. These people aren't all crooks, which we all know that. But that's the attitude. So let me just read that to you again. Disdain is a feeling of contempt for someone or something regarded as unworthy or inferior. The party of the working class, Labour, the people who infest it now, that's what they believe. And in this show, I'm going to show you why I've come to this conclusion. And I want your views as well. Because I think the word disdain sums up Labour and indeed Keir Starmer's attitude to the majority of working class Brits. Do you think that? We'll go through a list and you consider the following and tell me whether you think I've got it right. Let's start with the flag controversy. Oh, by the way, good afternoon. It's the John Gaunt Show. The flag controversy. Look at the way they've looked down their snooty nose at our flag. And only at the last minute, when he realised he could lose votes, he started to say, well, I like the flag. And then we had all that nonsense, didn't we, about Yvette Cooper. Oh, I've got lots of flags. I've got bunting at home with Union flags on it and the St. George's Cross. What's that smell? Yes, that's right. Absolute and utter bullshit. Can you hear me okay, by the way? Because I had to get set up really quickly today. If you're having a problem, let me know. So the flags, number one. They've always been ashamed of our flags. They're ashamed of patriotism. They're ashamed. But then they need it, don't they? Because when he goes to war in Ukraine, he'll be calling on those very people he looks down his snooty nose at to be the people to lead the fight. I don't think people will go. Let's talk about mass, uncontrolled, illegal migration. I would hazard a guess the majority of people in this country are against it. That doesn't mean they're against immigration. Most people are in favour of well-controlled, managed immigration. Only if you're racist are you against that. But as long as it's managed and controlled. But we know it isn't. And so what we're complaining about is things like Crowborough, where they're putting those men right next to a town. And they're not going to be under lock and key. I see Nigel Farage says today, if he was in charge, they would be. But it's too late by then. We need it now. We've already had women attacked. We've had men brutally murdered. We've had girls attacked in a park. It's happening. And the amount of sex crimes committed by these migrants is disproportionately high. That doesn't mean, excuse me, I've still got this terrible cold. It doesn't mean that they're all rapists or murderers, does it? But the way Starmer, and this is my belief, Starmer and Rachel Reeves looks at it, it does. It makes, they think that's how we think. They haven't got a clue what they think, because although he says he's the son of a tool maker, his dad owned a bloody factory. So they ignore our concerns. They think it will go away. Just leave it and it will go away. Bit like the pub deal. They were obviously massively surprised when there was such a reaction to their idiotic ideas about pubs and how they were going to basically wreck hospitality. So they said a few weeks ago, and I did mention this at the time, oh, we'll come up with a package for the pubs. I said, this is a con. And today proves the point. They've got a package, but it's only for pubs. And it's a spit in the ocean. Anybody who runs a small hotel or a cafe bar or a coffee shop on the high street, they're getting jack all. And we've waited 3 or 4 weeks. And then Rachel Reeves, she didn't even bother going to the Commons to explain what her plan is. It's her plan, or Starmer's as it is. Starmer's on the plane to China to sell us out, of course. She isn't. She's still in this country. She didn't come to Parliament. That was another flip the bird, as they say in America, to Parliament. She was for it. She was scared. So was Starmer. Have you noticed 40-odd trips this year? The moment there's any shit hitting the fan, right, he's away. He's off. He's off skis. Today, China. Let's go and talk to a foul dictator. Let's find out what else he wants to take. Want another embassy? Oh, do you want some more sovereign state? Huh? You've got the Chagas Isles via Mauritius. It's absolutely disgraceful, which is why I'm saying it's about time now we downed tools. I'm not talking about civil unrest. I'm saying maybe we need to say we're going on strike. You know, like the publicans said, well, they banned them all from going into their pubs. They then said, let's just close all the pubs. All the way the farmers have started to blockade ferry ports. Maybe we need to be a bit more like the French. Hit them where it hurts so that Starmer can't ignore it. Because what happened today? She sent this lad, and you've probably not seen it yet. Wait till you watch the news. She sent a boy to do a man's or a woman's work. Some undersecretary. I'd never heard of him. He didn't know what he was doing. He spoke too long. He had 10 minutes to make this statement. And the deputy speaker, a woman at the time, she went at him and said, you've had more than 10 minutes. Oh, I apologize. I've never done it before. Never done it before? You're in the government, you little prat. And by the way, when do you start shaving? And when's your balls going to drop? I'll tell you what did drop. Later, Lindsay Hull, the actual Speaker of the House, got in the chair. I didn't see him swap over, but he did. And then he laid into this so-called, I can't even remember his name. I didn't even bother hearing what his name was. He laid into him and said the rules are there for a reason. But what they offered today was a sticking plaster on the severed jugular of the hospitality trade. Thousands of jobs are going to go. Thousands. And in pubs as well. And then they said, oh, well, we'll change it so you'll get a reduction. Well, no, not a reduction on what they're already paying, a reduction on what they wanted to charge them. So therefore, it isn't a reduction. It's all smoke and mirrors. Are you agreeing with me? If you are, let's have your comments. If you are, press the like button. If you like what I'm saying, I need you to tell me. And if you disagree, I'd like to have some of those as well. I'm saying, let's be clear, it's time for a general strike. That's the only way the pigs of Westminster will actually listen to us, the people. It's getting that dangerous out there, that crazy out there. Let's carry on then to make sure you agree with me or not. So, what about Northern Ireland? What about our heroes? They want to send a load of working class people off soon to the Ukraine to die in Russia. Well, they say to keep the peace. But what about the boys who went to Northern Ireland? The bravest of the brave, our special forces. Now 70, 74 years old, being dragged before the courts. Whereas avowed, without a doubt, members of the IRA and other terrorist organizations, they got the big, oh, let's all move on. Let's walk 1,000 miles in somebody else's shoes, or whatever the expression is. Let's shake hands and move on. Oh, you've disarmed. Well, where's all the arms? Oh, well, don't worry, you're not using them. But our boys, and I'm not justifying what they did, I'm sure some things were wrong. But let's also be honest, Northern Ireland was not just the Troubles, it was a war. They could never admit it was a war because that would have changed the rules of engagement, but it was a war, and it was a bloody horrible period in our history. There's a whole other debate about whether Brits should be there and all that. We'll do that another day. But I don't think any soldier now should be getting prosecuted when they're 70 or 74. What does Starmer do? Oh, I used to be the director of public prosecutions. Jimmy Savile never came over my desk, came over everybody else's, though, didn't he? And I don't believe you, Starmer. You seem to be more in favour of the villains, the terrorists. Look at who you've defended when you were the director of public prosecutions. And now we've got major political parties, not just Reform UK, but also the Tories, saying they want to rip up the European Convention on Human Rights. But you won't do it, because if we broke you in half, you would have ECHR written all the way down the side of your spine. Well, that's if we could find your spine, Mr. Starmer. And of course, this is where, again, you look at us with total and utter disdain. Oh, why would you want to get rid of the European Court of Human Rights? Why would you want to get rid of the ECHR? Didn't you know that was set up by Churchill? Isn't Churchill one of your heroes? Implication, you flag shagger. That's the implication when these idiots say this. It was set up by Winston Churchill, blah, 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 blah. Don't you believe in that? Don't you want human rights? I want human rights, but I want them written by us for the modern age, for our country. I don't see why some flip-flop warrior in his Adidas trainer, his Adidas tracky bottoms and a pair of flip-flops can use that against us, the British people. Coming here throwing away their documents. This is just ludicrous what is going on in this country. A lot of people now saying they're liking what I'm saying. Well, that's good to see. What's your opinion? I'll get to your opinions in a moment, as you know. But first of all, let me set out the agenda. I've been thinking about this. Came down on the train today. It was delayed. The little bit of pissing rain, and the trains are 15, 20 minutes late again. Just madness. Bought a cup of tea. £3.50 on the station. £3.50 for a cup of tea. Sorry, I am off on one tonight, and I've got to get this show finished quite relatively quickly today, because you'll never guess where I'm going tonight. Rosie said, I've got a treat for you, Dad. I said, oh, what's that? A nice bottle of wine? She said, well, I have got you that, but I've got you something else. I said, what is it? She said, I thought we could go for a sauna. You like saunas, don't you? I said, well, I haven't been for one for years, but yeah, I do. I said, where's this then? She said, on a farm, alarm bells. Ding, 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 ding. I said, what do you mean on a farm? She says, oh, it's a sustainable sauna. I said, well, surely all saunas are sustainable. No, it's wood-fired. I said, all right then, so it's wood, I can understand that. And she said, I said, you've got showers and stuff, so you can have a cold shower afterwards. No. What is there? A cast iron bath in the farmyard. I said, you want to pull up my plug now? Aren't you, daughter? She said, no. You have the sauna. It's only me and you who are going to be there, Dad. Don't worry. Just wear your trunks. And then you run out in the farmyard, past all the cow shit, I presume, and jump in the bath. I said, no, I won't be doing that bit. I'll get in the sauna with you if that's what you want to do. So that's where I'm going. I'm going to a sustainable sauna after this show. No sarcasm, please. Although I'm sure we're going to get plenty. Can't believe I'm doing it. I just cannot believe I'm doing it. Things you do for your daughters, hey? Right, now let's move on. So, Northern Ireland heroes in court. If you can think of some other examples of this where they treat you with disdain, let's have them. Oh, here's one. Diversity for all, except the white working class. Diversity is our strength, but not white working class people, particularly not white working class boys, which is why they've become the lowest achievers in schools, because they're just disregarded. They're yobs. They're white trash. Disgraceful. It's disgraceful. Here's another one. Ed Miliband and all his green I better not say this when Rose is here. All that green cobblers. He's like the perverted church curate, right, who thinks he knows what's best for you and me. He's the sort who ends up with his hands down a choir boy's knickers in later life. I'm not saying Ed Miliband's a paedophile, but I'm talking about the curate, the mythical curate, the imagery. I hate the bloke. He was crap as the leader. Now there's talk he might even come back as the leader if we ever get rid of Starmer. Don't get me started on Chagos. Although it looks like now Donald Trump will save us there. But they wanted to give away the Chagos. No, sorry, they didn't want to give it away. They want to give it away and then want us to pay for it. Forever. Even though we're just on the verge of going to war with Iran, you do realise that Armada now has got to the Middle East. Any minute now, Donald Trump is going to bomb the fuck out of them. Absolutely bomb them back into the Stone Age, which is a good thing in terms of the mad mullahs. Of course, that's where they want to be. That's where they can be. But we need the Chagos Isles. Starmer hasn't got a clue, but Starmer thinks me talking like that, I'm a barbarian. He would look at me with complete and utter disdain. He wouldn't if he was in my sustainable sauna tonight in the farmyard. Now that would confuse him. What, you mean that fascist John Gaunt goes for sustainable saunas? Well, after tonight, yes. I'll tell you all about it. I'm hoping it'll cure my cold. That's what Rosie said. Oh, get your cold out, Dad. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not going to jump in a bath. In a farmyard where the cows are drinking out of the bathwater that you're meant to jump into. I bet it's got, like a normal, you go to a posh spa, like rain showers and all the rest of it. I bet it's like that thing you had when you were your mum, when we were kids. Do you remember? Remember my mate, Rob Smith, says, oh, we've got a shower now. I said, don't be daft. Your bog's downstairs behind the kitchen. She says, no, my mum's got a shower. He said, come round and see it. So I went round and it was pink. And it was two pink plastic tubes with rubber bits at the top. You whacked them on the taps and then you could have a shower. That said, I went and told my mum and we got one. But they're not a shower, are they? Hey? I bet that's what it's like tonight. Although it won't be going on both taps. It'll just be on the cold tap, won't it? I think what's that guy? Wim Winders or whatever his name is. Maybe she thinks I'm, with the beard, that I'm going that way. I'm not, by the way. If you're enjoying the show, please press the like button. There's only 13 there so far, which is rubbish. Please also, if you'd like to make a donation, it's the last day for Buy Me a Coffee today for this week. So go to www.buymeacoffee.com/John Gaunt. Got to thank two people who both bought 3 each this morning. I'll get their names in a second. I've just forgotten it for the minute. But if you want to do it that way, you can. Alternatively, get Gaunty a proper cold shower tonight. Ladies, control yourselves. Just go to the little $, click on there and donate anything that you can afford. We've got to keep these going. I really feel, last night, if you were watching, I was pretty down. Did you realise? I was pretty down. I nearly stopped halfway through. I thought, why am I doing this? What a load of fucking waste of time this is, right? But no, I'm back today. I'm supercharged. So I want your views. Got a view? Let me know. Right, where are we going next? I'm coming to your comments any second now. I just want to read out a couple more of mine. Ed Miliband, lot of balls. Andy Burnham even. I don't like the fella. But him not being allowed to stand as an MP, but that's just purely to save Starmer's neck. Again, he thinks we won't mind. He thinks we won't notice. He thinks we're thick. He treats us with complete and utter disdain. Rachel Reeves is the same. She can't add up. Diane Abbott's better at adding up than her. It's true. It's true. How about using our cash to fight for the human rights of the flip-flop warriors? Epping, the Bell Hotel. Do you remember? Big court case stopped the Bell Hotel taking these people in. Starmer authorised them to use Epping's residents' money to fight them. And what did the judge come out with? The rights of the flip-flop warriors supersedes the rights of local residents. Oh, well, that's great, isn't it? All down to human rights. Thank you, Sir Keir. Do I need to go on? I don't think I do. I think I've sort of illustrated what the problem is. There's loads more examples. If you want to bring them up, do. So then I'm thinking, how the hell do we change things? Right? Obviously, being a broadcaster, I can't advocate violence or civil unrest. But then I started looking about the general strikes. Could we not have those of us? Well, I'm freelance, but I could strike against myself. Could we not all down tools? You'd hear Starmer's arse cheeks clang then, because there'd be no tax revenue. What if people just said no? I'll always remember at Vauxhall when I won all my Sonys because we covered Vauxhall closing down. We're doing a broadcast. I'm in the broadcast van. And suddenly we hear from the guys, you know, in the car factory, the bodies used to come in at the top level. And then they would be taken down to the lower level, put on the chassis and the rest of it. I'm talking to a guy, and I knew what it was like because I'd worked at the Standard. Well, I'd worked at the Triumph Standard when I was a kid before I went to university. And it was amazing. It was amazing. I'd never seen it. It was just incredible. So I could visualize it all. Suddenly I heard this crashing. This is back in Luton. I said, what are you doing? Guy says, we're pushing the car bodies off the belt. Right? Not the whole car. This was just like the shells, yeah? And you can hear crash, bang, wallop, right? Direct action. I'm not condoning it, but I'm telling you what happened. And I'm a union man. I don't know if I've ever really told you this before. I don't like the unions when they went crazy with the Red Robbo, but it was also terrible management. But in essence, I do believe you should be in a union. And I do believe unions strengthen the workplace. I've just seen Amazon. They're just sacking loads of people, and Amazon workers haven't got a fucking shit. They can't do anything about it. Right? I believe in capitalism, but I believe in conservatism, but I believe in conservatism with a small c. Right? I don't believe in wiping people's asses, right? Literally, I don't. Well, apart from my own. But I do believe in helping people if they get into a bad position. And, you know, like when I nearly died of sepsis. Thank God we had the NHS. Maybe you don't think that, but that's what I think. So anyway, that's where I am, right? So have you got all this, right? You got all this in your head now. Right. Now we can start having a conversation. If you want to make a comment, feel free, do it there. If you want to press the like button, please do that. If you'd like to donate, please do that. Need the cash to keep these things going. Just press the little $sign and donate whatever you can. And if you can't do that, you can go to www.buymeacoffee.com/John Gaunt. I'm just looking for these guys' names who donated earlier so that I don't miss them off. So I'd feel bad about that. Colin Simmons, thank you very much indeed. He gave me 3 coffees earlier. He said a really nice thing as well. Let's see if I can find the message. He said, keep up the good work, John. But before that, he said, I enjoy all your shows. Sorry not donated sooner, but I'm not as mobile as I used to be physically, mentally at 70 years old. That's all right, mate. Thank you very much indeed. And the other person was Adam C., who's a big supporter. He's the guy who gave me the lights. I haven't got the lights with me today. So we'll do it in Braille, shall we? But keep up the great work, John. And he bought me 3 beers as well. Do you want to buy me something? Come on, help me out. Dead simple to do. www.buymeacoffee.com. And then when you get there, you can choose a beer or coffee. Right. Are we ready to go? Excuse me. Let's take some views. Do you think that was a good rant? I thought it was. I'll have to come to Roses more often. Be interested to see what I feel like later. Tomorrow, I might be all uber liberal. Make sure you tune in to tomorrow's podcast. It might be in the new John Gaunt. You never know. Sustainable sauna. What the effing hell is that? Good evening, John. I'm with you on every point you bring to the British people's attention. I'm just as angry as you on every point as well, which is why I support you. Keep up your good work, says Pamela Millett. Thank you, Pamela. Jack Clarkson says, great points. Thank you, Jack. Then he says, what about the illegals fighting? Let's see how many of them would volunteer. Well, they wouldn't, would they? Because they're not British citizens. But I take your point. Would you want them in the army? That's like when they say bring back conscription and the army go, no, we don't want conscription back. They only want people who want to do it. Starmer's a communist, says Richard Markham. Do you reckon? Well, maybe you'll go and live in China then, full time. I can't believe he's had the cheek to go to China this week. I just cannot believe it. Den Spinks, I think Starmer is a complete control freak. I hate the fecker. Yeah, well, I understand where you're coming from. Well, he's obviously a control freak. Anybody who gets close to him, he has them liquidated. Not physically, but you know what I mean. Chairman Starmer is still a can't, John, says Lena Tail 7251. I don't think you spell can't like that, but there we are. Thank you very much. Kevin Routley, follow Charlie Simpson. He's a political commentator. He was saying Suella and John in Reform over 2 weeks ago. Oh, yeah, he's that young lad, isn't he? We all knew Suella was going to join Reform. But was he saying anything more than that, Kevin? I thought what I said, although it didn't go down very well with the audience, I thought it was... I think Nigel's got to be very careful. I just think he's got to be very careful. Because at the moment, you know, people can go, oh, it's the Conservative Party. What do they call it? 2.0 or something. They all love catching onto a catchphrase, right? I say, if he's not careful, he's going to turn it into the Conservative Party of has-beens. Because, as that guy said earlier, they're all the feckers who messed it up in the first place. Let's have some business people in there, people who haven't messed things up. That's what I was trying to say last night, but I say it didn't go down too well. Right, Richard Pope. Totally agree with Den Spinks. Den Spinks? He should get his own show then, shouldn't he? Then you could be agreeing with him all the time. Reform equals 2.0. No, sorry. Reform. See, you're doing exactly what I just said. Reform equals 2.0. And then there's a little image as a sheep, but I don't know what the other thing is. So, sorry, I can't really read that. You got to remember. Now he's done loads of emojis. Thank you. And he says, rise up. Den Spink, you are already steaming like the Flying Scotsman, John. You don't need a sauna. Well, I'm hoping that once we've had the sauna, I'll say, you know what, Rosie, that was brilliant. Shall we go to the local pub and have a beer now with the Morris men? I loved, well, and what day is it? Tuesday, it's Wednesday. I went in the other week with her. I thought it'd be dead, absolutely dead. All the Morris men were in there. Oh, man alive. Good stuff. I love village life. I miss living in a village. Lived in a village for 30-odd years. But there we are. Can't have everything in life, can you? Not forever, anyway. That's been my experience. I can't even get a donation nowadays. John Gaunt for Prime Minister, says Sandra Jean Hay. Thank you, Sandra Jean Hay. On Facebook, who we got next? If we had a general strike, I guarantee organisers would be jailed. Plus, loads of bank accounts would be closed. Leanne's tale. You're absolutely right. He's scaring you into even thinking that. That means that Starmer has kind of won, hasn't it? Who we got next? Hello, John, says Tommy Mason. Hello, Tommy Mason. Now make a point. It wouldn't take much of a strike to bring the country to its knees. It's nearly there already, says Richard Pope. Yeah, that's true. Oh, Richard, you're a Sky Blues fan, are you? I don't know about general strike. I think half team Coventry had started the strike last night. How useless were they? Absolutely useless. Not putting in the required effort. Sorry. I'm going to have to stop in a minute. Sorry if that upsets you, Sky Blues fans. just telling the truth. What we really need is our armed forces to go on strike. They're not allowed to. They'd be shot. But I understand where you're coming from, David. Young Bob joined Advance. Well, you see, good luck to him. I hope he does well in it. But they ain't got a chance of ever getting elected, have they? True, one day would be like a revolution, says Dead Spinks. And British Life says, Advance UK are the way. Well, they're not, are they? They're not. I know Ben Habib and Rupert Lowe, I'd like to talk to him at some point, but they're not the way. They haven't got the numbers. Nigel Farage is going to be the next Prime Minister. I wish the right would unite. That's what I do wish. But, you know, when people make... I'm sorry, British Life. I think that's just a stupid comment. Advance UK are the way. Well, if an election was like 20 years ago, you might have a point. But the election's going to be very soon. And in fact, the way Starmer's behaving, could be next week. No, it wouldn't be next week. But do you understand what I'm saying? I just think you've got to make serious points. Like when I talked about it, I did sit there today, right? I thought, shall I say general strike or not? And then I thought, well, you know, would it come off? And then I thought, well, it's a hypothetical thing, really, isn't it? Because it probably wouldn't. I don't know. But I'm so frustrated with where we are as a country. I'm just thinking, what's the radical idea? What's the big idea? I don't know. What do you think? And I was so down last night after that show. And also, you know, last night I was crap. I'm surprised anyone donated any money, so I apologise for that. Because I get a bit down sometimes when it's like that. When I think it's not firing, I'm not thinking of the lines. It's not happening for me. Because, you know, I don't write anything down. You do know it's all like a stream of consciousness. Yeah. I mean, it's easier for people who do the show after watching my show when they copy me because they just basically edit it and try and make it a bit more palatable for their poxy little audiences. Franny G, John, I've just come back from Thailand. Oh, I love Thailand. That place is corrupt. They mustn't have heard of Britain. What a beautiful place it is. Well, yeah, it is a beautiful place, Thailand. Where were you in Thailand? I do like it. I would like to go back. Got a friend who lives over there at the moment. Starmer going to China. I heard that China wants an embassy here. Well, yes, Richard, they've got one. And now they're just going to get a huge takeaway. They're all lying tax evaders, so nothing will change. I'm not sure about that, my friend. Here we are. This is the guy who's now supporting Advance. Advance UK are the way forward, he said. British Life. Farage has no interest in uniting the right. That's the problem. Well, you're right. He has been very negative about it. But maybe Ben Habib and Rupert and all the others haven't been polite enough. I don't know. I don't have to fight his battles. He's big enough and ugly enough to fight his own. Franny G says, Patia and Hui Hin, John. He plays for Arsenal, doesn't he? No, that's a joke. Yeah, I've been to Patia. Have you been to, where did I go? Is it called Phuket? I went there as well, yeah. Bangkok. A strike would harm the country more, says Stuart Lowe. Do you mean harm the country? That's the whole idea. You have to harm the government, get them to panic, bum cheeks clanging, and then out of self-preservation, they might do something which will benefit to all of us. It's called direct action. That's what you do. Just a thought. Right, I'm going to stop now. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for not donating one single penny tonight. But I'm in a better mood, so I'm not going to get too upset about it. If, however, you would like to donate, please just click that $sign next to the comments and donate whatever you fancy. The big way you can really help me as well is go to JonGauntTV on YouTube. First time you go there, little pop-up comes up, says, do you want to subscribe? It doesn't mean you have to pay. It's free. Say yes. Then you'll always know when I'm doing extra shows, etc., etc. Huh? JonGauntTV. And tell all your mates to do it as well. We've nearly got 7,000 subscribers now, right? I want to get to 10,000 in the next month or so. Then we get it onto a different level. Also, I'll get more advertising. More advertising, I'll earn some money, right? Because I'm kind of had enough of being skint. Always, you know. I've been well off and I've been skint. I've been skint, then I've been well off. I know which I prefer. But when I was well off, I never went for a sustainable sauna, did I? So there's a new experience for me tonight. So what was that? So what was it up to? Yeah, so you can donate if you would fancy today. Just simply click the $ or go to www.buymeacoffee.com/John Gaunt. Then you get your name on the screen down there. So that's as simple as that. So if you could do that, it would really, really, really help. General strike, that's what I've proposed. If you want to comment on it later, you can always go to my TV channel, to JonGauntTV on YouTube. You can comment there all night. We've been having some good discussions on there. Niven Casey is a big fan. He says, "Hi, John. Don't worry about last night's show. Form is temporary. Class is permanent." Yeah, well, that's very true. And I've got to say, I don't get down too much about it. It's not bloody brain surgery. I just didn't think I was very good. And it just didn't fly. It should have done. It's a good subject matter. Tonight's gone bonkers. Not money-wise, but it's gone bonkers in terms of people participating. Jackie Ward's given me 3 red hearts. Thank you, Jackie. That's always my signal to stop. Take care, Mr. G. I reckon a lot of people went to the football last night. No, they kind of didn't. It was in Norwich. I was on Sky there, wasn't it? Take care, Mr. G, says Andy Goslin. Thank you very much indeed. Enjoy your rustic sauna, John, says Richard Pope. Thank you. I think he's taking the mickey on Facebook. Enjoy your cow dip, John, says David KT. He definitely is. What's that? Now, I'm not having this. I'm going to put it up so you can see what this foul man said. If you are skint, convert to be a Jew and screw any country over. They will make you rich. Can I just say, you're filth. You're absolute filth. I've banned you. I'm also going to report you. Don't your anti-Semitic shit on my program. Get lost. Right, he's gone. Enjoy your cow dip, John. That was David, don't we, really? And Pamela says, I don't seem to have a like button tonight. Well, I don't understand that. You should have done. All right. Well, I don't know why that is, Pamela. We'll sort it out tomorrow. I'll have a look at it again tomorrow. Here's my rude joke to end with. So I'm really looking forward to going tonight to the rustic sword, or whatever you lot called it. My sustainable sauna. I'm hoping I'm going to have a happy ending. No, not that kind of happy ending. I'm going with my daughter, for God's sake. My happy ending is several pints of real ale down the local village pub with the Morris men. But that might have to wait till tomorrow night. I'm sure it was Wednesday we went with. Anyway, regardless. But I'm going to have a good time. Thank you very much for joining in. Thank you very much if you contributed financially. If you haven't yet and you're feeling guilty, feel free to do it overnight. I'll be back tomorrow. Have a think more about what I've said about this disdain. They definitely treat us with disdain, and how do we stop them doing it? Not just Labour, actually. All politicians. Richard Pope says, is it with Clarkson? Laugh out loud. His pub is just down the road, but Rosie doesn't like going there. She says it's always too crowded. So there we are. I want to try it, but not tonight. Right, that's me done. Thanks a lot for joining in. If you got kids, give them a kiss, give them a hug. Hey. Don't forget to tell them you love them. And I'll see you tomorrow at 6. Bye.